Behind me stands this beautiful Queen Anne home designed by Tacoma architect Ambrose Russell for Richard and Louise Vaeth, who moved in 1898. It's one of our most popular homes that we've had on the Homes Tour. In fact, people have, by public demand, have asked us to bring it back, and every 5 or 6 years we open it up as a result of the owners allowing us to do so. And it's like walking back in time. It's been beautifully restored. But there's something very special in the house that we'd like to share with you that has not yet been seen. It's a new addition, and it's quite a story behind it. So follow me up the stairs. We'll go into the home, go through some of the rooms, and then I will share a surprise with you. So follow me up the stairs and we'll take a look-see. Okay, going into the home. As I move to the left, as people enter the home, they go into the parlor. This is the reception parlor of the home. And there's a fireplace here and a beautifully carved woodwork, oak. And what's really unique are the griffins that you see here. And of course, the beautiful flooring, and then as you look this way, you'll see the grand staircase as people go up to the floors above. Move here, these wonderful pocket doors into the living room, and through the living room, as we see, there are grand events here. The two daughters of Mr. and Mrs. Vaeth were married here. You'll see the chandeliers that are original here in the living room. And as we move through the living room, I'm going to share a surprise with you. And we see a wonderful dining room table that was brought here by the Vaeths from Germany. Prior to moving in, they took a tour of Europe, and they brought this dining room table with them. It was brought back to the home just within the last year. The chairs are original, as you can see, and the griffins that we saw in the parlor over the fireplace are a part of the table. The carving in the chairs is remarkable, as you can see, and the finish is original. The table's been restored. Some of the leather in the chairs have been replaced, but this is pretty much the way it looked back in the 1890s. As a matter of fact, there is a photograph taken in the 1890s, around the turn of the century, and you can see how this room again is, you're walking back into history as you walk into this room. Now what's unique, of course, is that many important events occurred here, and probably the most significant was when Henry Ford visited the Vaeths, and he was here for a week trying to convince Mr. Vaeth into investing in the Ford Motor Company. He stayed here and they had conversations around this table, Henry Ford and Mr. Vaeth, and it turns out that Louise was not particularly enamored by Henry Ford, and convinced her husband not to invest in the Ford Motor Company, but instead invest in the Jimson Company that after the turn of the century unfortunately went bankrupt. It was a fateful decision by Richard Vaeth at the urging of his spouse, Louise. What a wonderful table. There could be as many as 20 people sitting around this table. And as I mentioned, social events in the city during this time is when the two daughters, Hilda and Rhoda, were married in this home. In fact, Hilda married Henry Hewitt, Jr., Hewitts, of course, being prominent lumber barons in Tacoma. So this is a remarkable addition to the home, and just lends more to the history and the ambience. It's really extraordinary. I'm very excited for the owners of the home, Kathy and Andy, and for the citizens of Tacoma who will have a chance to, the history buffs, will have a chance to come through this home again when we bring it back on the tour some years. We're actually going to be moving on to another home with a great history, not far from here, that has a direct relationship between the owner and what is now Stadium High School. So stick with me, and We'll see you again when we get to the next home. Thank you.